Yo.
What's up?
Well, I see.
Wait a minute. How come your voice is coming off on my watch? Like, what the hell's going on? We turn my watch off.
Because you too modern, man. You too modern. What's the matter with you, man?
Why is it coming out of my watch? Like, wait a minute.
Why are you asking me? I don't wear a watch. Last time, did you know in pantheon of black history, if you will, black men, you're supposed to have good shoes, a good suit, and a watch. And back in the day, you also used to have a hat. Hat, good shoes, good suit, and a watch. I just thought I'd mention that to you. Not that you're interested in that. Hey, listen. Yo, you still there? Well, this boy done turned his watch off. That means I ain't got him. Do I have to call you back? Oh, man. What's going on here? Okay. Let me call this man back. See what happens. Let's see.
Hello.
Yeah. So what happened, Mr.
It's you, man.
No,
that's not me. That's you.
You messed with your watch and then you went away. I don't understand.
I'm not messing with. That's the first time something like that. First of all, I just took a chance because your name does not come up when you just called.
That's because I'm using my other phone. You're
Chief of the Patterson, you got a million different phones. The only reason, okay, he said 839. I said, okay. All right.
No.
I told a friend of mine who was a big Prince fan, and she was like, I hadn't seen her in a while, and I said, okay, I have 3 or 4 phones. I said, look, sweetheart, I'm not taking 3 or 4 numbers. Give me the number you would give to Prince. I'm taking one number. Okay? Y'all kill me with these 3 or 4 numbers now.
No. Can I explain what happened?
Yeah, explain what happened, bro.
Okay.
Talk to me.
Okay. Well, see, I had bought a phone for my brother, right? And but he had done his little thing, and then he passed. He passed, in May, as you may or may not know. Well, And
yeah, so, we know. We saw you.
So therefore, I had that phone. Then I started. I'm here in Missouri. And so I usually use my phone to record on, audio, whatever, visual record and post up on that, right? But then I thought, well, look, hey, I got this phone and I need to be talking to some people, but I don't, so how do I do that? Only have one phone. So I said, hey, why don't I use the phone I got from my brother to like for audio and just use my thing so people, you see, I'm using, look. Don't worry about it. Hey, I do have a Prince thing for you, right? Here we go. Because of my morning workout, I use a lot of Prince, walking around, whatever. And I know Chelsea Rogers for a long time, right? And then about last month, I got this revelation. I said, Chelsea Rogers, wait a second. Hey, Prince Rogers Nelson. So obviously, Rogers has some sort to do with it, right? Then I just had this revelation, I guess it was this morning, when I was doing my thing. I said, whoa, hold on. No, not this morning. Yeah. I said, hold on a second. Chelsea Rogers was a model. It says role model, right? Jen says Chelsea Rogers was a model, and then something like she reads more books than a few, right? And then I realized that what's the name? What's that boy? The one with the hair and all the rest of stuff, Princeton, not Yale, Harvard, with the gap tooth, Cornell West. So Cornell West said when he was hanging out with Prince, you would never know because Prince would have like the what do you call that? Whatever the Jehovah's Witness do with in one hand, one arm, and then the other arm he had John Henry Clark, right? So I'm thinking, wait a second, Chelsea Rogers is Prince.
I mean, from an artistic point of view, you can look at it like that. I know because I'm wondering, because I know the woman who he named the song after, he wrote the song about a model, but I'm like, and you know how Prince likes to remake all these women's names, like that's not their real, so who knows what her real name is, and if he renamed her Chelsea Rogers, and that can fit into your narrative. I'm because he's always reading out like what's the Carmen Electra? I forgot her real name is Tara Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Denise Matthews, Vanity, her name and all that. Patricia Catero, he was watching The Godfather, he named her Apollonia.
Mm-hmm.
So, Prince got all these different connections that, I'm like, well, okay, for instance, he comes to his assistant one day and says, look, go rent me a house in LA. I want to go to LA. Get it done in like an hour or two. All right. So that's the kind of thing he would do. So she got an address and she said, okay, the address is 3121, blah, blah, blah. Then he does a whole album called 3121.
Yeah.
Okay? So any little thing that pops in his head, he's like, okay, boom, we're gonna do it like so. It could be.
It could be.
It's just interesting. It's interesting to travel down the purple matrix. You know what I mean? So,
well, as Dave Chappelle reports, you can't argue. Prince got that Prince jiu-jitsu. You don't know what the heck's going on with that boy. But here's another thing.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was looking at it. The people were wondering why he didn't leave a will. And there were a couple. Van Jones was one, and Londo McMillan, another lawyer. See, they brought it up to Prince, and Londo McMillan, when he brought it up to Prince, said, what do I need a will for? What am I going to die? That was his attitude. And Van Jones brought it up, and Prince, he just said the force field went up. And then an associate said that he felt that people were trying to rush his death, wanted to keep the greedy people away. Now, supposedly when he was married, he had a will. But after he got divorced, he got rid of it. But Van Jones said, well, kind of what you just said. It's like you try to get Prince to do something he don't want to do. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the good thing is that you get Purple Rain. The bad thing is you get a Graffiti Bridge movie. You know what I mean? Prince, man, that's not. No, we're gonna do it this way. Okay.
Well, now check this out. I just realized, what I'm drinking purple juice. This is like what do you call it? Blueberry. I have blueberry and I mix it with a little bit of goat's yogurt and some of my moringa powder and buffered vitamin C. And I had some, black cherry, pure, organic, pure, whatever, black cherry juice. And I had it in the refrigerator and I'm drinking it right now. I didn't actually plan this, man. But here's some more freaky stuff. You want to hold on to this one? Here's some more freaky stuff. The other thing, and this sort of transitions, because I want to ask you about this. Well, right now, I've been also on my thing. I've been listening to this rehearsal tape, whatever he was doing, and it goes from "If I Were Your Girlfriend" to "Strange Relationship," which I really like this particular one. Right, this transition in the whole two things. Now, in this transition, when he's doing "Strange Relationship," he says WBLS, and then he said something about Isaac Hayes and Sheila E. Now, here's the thing. BLS, I don't know if maybe you're too young for this, but Isaac, Frankie Crocker was on the WBLS when it changed from LIB FM to WBLS. He was the DJ on there, Frankie, if Frankie's not on, your radio isn't on, blah, blah, blah.
The radio's not really on, right?
And if Chief Rocker, blah, 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 and all that stuff.
Right, the whole thing.
But now here's the thing. Here's the trick. He was the first person to play Isaac Hayes, the long form of By the Time I Get to Phoenix, ever on the whole planet.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
in the 70s, right?
That's right. No, this was
commercial radio was more
60s.
adventurous, right?
He did this in the 60s. This is before I left for the Air Force. It had to be like 69, something like 68. I forget what. It was the first time. Now he wasn't around for that. I'm sure that's New York. I'm sure he didn't hear that. So that's sort of some spiritual thing happening there. You understand what I'm trying to say? To mention BLS and then to mention Isaac Hayes. See, only to me, of course, this is only in my head because, if you didn't go, if you wasn't in New York, all the stuff that I just been saying, then you would make this connection. Right. But I would say all that. Now let's drop all that because, as usual, I'm jumping around. Here's the thing: they're putting out this new thing for Sign of the Times, very good, blah blah blah.
The super edition box set, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they're going to do the regular stuff. But I'm listening to something like, something like Strange Relationship. If I Were Your Girlfriend, Strange Relationship, that thing is a monster. that rehearsal tape, and he's going off, he's telling jokes. They would never put out something like that. Maybe they will. I don't know if that's going to be included in that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, what they're going to put out, because there was talk about them doing a rehearsal. Okay, they're putting out our theme song with Birth of the Flesh, Girls and the Boys of the new Boogie Groove.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting that because it's going to have 8 CDs and 1 DVD. Right. And of course, it's going to remaster the album, mm-hmm. and then they're going to have like so many different discs of outtakes. Mm-hmm. I Could Never Take Your Place, Your Man from 1979. I think there's a version of Strange Relationships early, because Strange Relationships, I think, was written about vanity, mm-hmm. going back to 1983.
Okay.
I think they got other songs on there, a song named Eggplant. They got a different version of Crucial. Like I said, they got Rebirth of the Flesh. They got like 3 or 4 CDs of out. I think they have a couple of rehearsals in there. Mm-hmm. I think you'll like Strange Relationships. Now, they do have a live 2 CDs of a live Sign of the Times concert from like June 87. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the serendipitous part. The guy who's running the archives said they wanted to put out the Sign of the Times movie. But what happened was, because Prince, when he first did the movie, he wanted it out right away, and Warner Brothers says, no, we can't put it out right away. So you have permission to shop it around, to give it to MCA Universal. And in subsequent years, the rights are all tied up with all different companies, so the estate couldn't get it done in time. So instead of them putting out a DVD of the Sign of the Times, the movie, they're putting out a DVD of the last Sign of the Times show, mm-hmm. New Year's Eve, Paisley Park, nice and long, with Miles Davis making a guest appearance.
Oh, snot. I mean, oh, stuff. I mean, oh, Lord. Oh, yeah, something. Oh, Prince.
Yeah,
oh,
boy. Yeah, boy.
Whoa. See, this is the problem. Excuse me. This is the problem. I think the thing is going to go for like $300, right? Something like that.
Well, I ordered an extra one. I don't know what your no, you're a vinyl guy, or are you a CD guy?
Man,
because the thing about it is, it's like, okay, they got different versions coming out, but the Super Edition has two formats. One format is an 8 CD plus the DVD plus a 120-page book. The other format is 13 LPs plus the DVD plus the book. So what I could do, I don't know if you're going to be around, but I could get you. You would want to. When you don't even know what your travel thing is going to be, right?
Well, I do know. Let me put it this way. Me and my wife talked about this. It's like if your man goes off to war, he gone for 18 months, because there's stuff happening in South Africa, and so I'm not going to be back. I'm not going to be back till next year sometime.
Okay, well, I could get you an extra DVD. You would want a CD, right?
Yeah.
You don't want the vinyl, do you?
No. Here's the thing. I'd rather the CD, because then I can run it. I can do all I can download it, whatever it is, and put it in whatever have you, and then store the CD someplace, even though they'll eventually die, I guess. But then the other.
Well, no, because what's going to happen, and it is the beautiful. See, it took me a while to get used to streaming. Mm-hmm. Because I'm the type of person that's like, okay, I like to have different formats. Like, I know they did this big. I didn't have a choice with certain things. Certain things are only available on streaming. So they'll stream it. And you can stream a lot of it, but the thing about it, unless you get that Super Edition, you will not get the booklet, which people can, but you won't get the DVD either.
Okay, listen.
So if you want the DVD, you have to get you have to get the CD. Now, if you want it, I'll order you an extra copy. Because the last big one they had sold out. And the thing about it is, because now the business comes in, because this is the last year for Warner Brothers to have the rights to every album except for Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon. No, I guess that's Parade. Parade is the name of the album. Graffiti Bridge and Batman. Next year, so now in this country, I think Warner Brothers still has the rights of all the albums outside of this country. Next year, Sony takes over the distribution rights for every Warner Brothers album except for those 4 I just mentioned in this country, plus everything he did. Like Gold Express, everything he did. They get it's going to be Warner Brothers with those 4, and then Sony for everything else. And Sony will have everything outside of this country except for the Warner Brothers stuff. So the percentage of the 2 companies that have the distribution rights, even though the state owns the masters, Warner Brothers and Sony. Now it changes, the percentage of what they each have changes next year. So Sign of the Times, I'm going to order it for you, because you're going to want the D, because I just saw you just had a moment when I mentioned Miles Davis and Prince, which is, I had the same moment on the radio because we actually got a bootleg DVD. We played the audio of that performance. Oh, by the way, Can I Play With You? Remember that song? That's on there too. That's on there too. And it's funny because I didn't think they would get it, because there's a guy who used to work at Paisley Park. His name is Dave Hampton. He was a facilities director and technical director for Paisley Park, and now he handles Miles Davis's estate. So I actually had an interaction with him, and he said, look, anything that the Prince estate puts out with Miles on it, they got to get permission. Well, apparently they got permission, because when they made the announcement, it's like, wait a minute. They got permission to put out Miles and Prince? Because there's another history that goes. I remember when I went to this 1999, I went to a Raven to the Joy Fantastic release party. They had it at Clive Davis or whatever, and they were playing the album. What they did, they played a snippet of something that Prince and Miles Davis did. It's just a little snippet. It's going to be on the album. But then, when the album comes out, it just had a blank space, because what happened is the estate, the Miles Davis estate said, you can't do that. So Prince was like, well, you try to pay tribute to your boy, and people say you can't do it. So it didn't come out. So for us to get Miles and Prince at the end performing live, and then also have the Can I Play With You, means that they must have gotten something. So streaming is cool and everything, but if you want the DVD, you got to get the special edition, which I like the combination.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'd rather do. Where I am right now, if you want to put it this way, JB, the place I'm in St. Louis right now, he has all my archives. He has all my archives, all my plays, all my writing. He has everything. I just heard something from when I was when we was doing a thing called JB's program, JB's radio program, Saturday Soul with JB. That's when I first started radio. I was the poet in residence for Saturday Soul with JB. It was a 6.5 hour, whatever, 8.5, whatever, 6.5 hour radio program with R&B music. Back in the day, those kind of music. But I was a poet in residence, and we would play some jazz, like some Errol Klug or something like that. Play that. He would go to that. Then I would do my poem over that live. Then we come out. Then we go back to the soul. We're on the right track. Whatever. Whatever the thing is. But the thing is, he has that kind of thing, and to hear myself doing poetry, my own poetry back then is a mind blowing thing. I hear my voice and we're like, whoa, I'm like 22, 23 years old. They said, wow, Anyway, to make a long story short, it's better if I get the record, I guess, as long as I can get the DVD, I don't know, somehow, because it would be stored here anyway, no matter what. He has albums, he has record albums that you would not believe back in the day, all of this 70s into the 80s, 70s, all the 70s, all of them, all the records, no matter what it is, got us, salsa, orchestra, whatever the deal is, like that. So, all right,
so the thing comes out September 25th. September 25th. What I'll do is I'll order you the CD with the DVD, and I'm going to see you at some point, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be back in New York in October. I'll be back in New York in the middle of October.
Whenever this COVID thing, so I'll have it for you. Like I got other stuff for you, so I'll have it for you.
Okay.
And, you know, there was also a 1999 set, but now it's hard to get that. I'll look into that. It's hard to, I mean, people had to go to Amazon Japan. But I think, like, that's another one because Warner Brothers did the initial one. They did like they remastered the album, then they put 2 Vault CDs out, then they put a live thing from Detroit, then they put a DVD from Houston, plus a booklet. That's something that said, since it did so well, okay, we're going to do that with Sign of the Times. They did that with Sign of the Times. So, but that sold out, and Warner Brothers is not going to reprint that because they're losing their rights. Sony will probably pick it up next year.
Okay, well,
because it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but the Sign of the Times one, I know the Miles Davis one got everybody going, what? Because I swear to God, I did not expect them to get the rights to that. So I'll get that, and when I run into you, I'll hand it to you.
Well, let me tell you.
Do what you need to do.
Let me tell you my schedule. I'll be back in New York the middle of October. Then the very beginning of November, I go down to Virginia because I want to vote. And then I'll spend the rest of the month there, Thanksgiving with my sister, right? Then I'm back in New York probably until Christmas time, you know? But then I'm thinking of, I think I am going to do it. Christmas I'll probably spend actually here in St. Louis. You know, because what will happen, I have to talk to JB. I haven't really made this plan yet, but I know that I will be on a train. So right after Christmas or right before New Year's, somewhere, well, New Year's Eve, New Year's, I will be on a train. I'll be trying to probably take that train that goes from Chicago to Portland. You know, because as you know, or as you may or may not know, I always travel on New Year's Eve and my birthday. They're just like, half a year apart, whatever have you. So this is the first time I'll be able to take this long train travel, and I want to go to Portland. Then, depending what happens, I might try to get up to Canada and take train across Canada. But that thing sounds pretty expensive I don't know how to do that, right? Or I might go down California and take the train back around, you know what I mean? Take that southern route. But basically, what I'm trying to say, January, I'll be on trains. That's what I mean. I have no plans after that, huh?
The whole thing about, because I got family in Canada, and initially I was kidding with them. I said, when Trump first got elected, I said, y'all got a room up there so I can stay in case something happens? And I mentioned it the other day. They said, no, we don't want any of y'all up in Canada. So they don't want us. So I don't know if you might have to change your plans. I don't know if anything's going to change about it unless, the Canadians don't want Americans in the country.
I hear you, man.
And I said, you know what? I don't blame you.
That's what I said about South Africa. South Africa, when they started banning Americans there first, I said, well, look, hey, these people are crazy here, so I understand. I'm with you guys on that. I'm with it.
Now, Africa is it? Well, no, we are actually in Missouri. How is is that a red zone now? How are they dealing with the COVID-19 in Missouri?
Well, I don't know because I'm gonna say St. Louis is actually a bunch of suburbs. You know what I mean? I can't explain this to you, but I'm in a thing called Olivet, and then of course you have East St. Louis right across the river, right where Miles talk about Miles right
Miles
there.
Davis,
yeah.
Right.
Now here's the thing.
Right.
They just said now with the power authority and whatever have you that they're going to start, because people can't pay their electric, whatever have you, they're going to start shutting people's electric down or whatever it is, But here's the trick. But here's the trick. That's a bad idea. Here's the trick. They're doing it by zip codes. Now, you know what that means. And that's why I tried to explain to people years ago. They're going to do stuff by zip codes. So, people live together. So the ghetto has one zip code. Like people say, you understand what I'm saying? That's going to be devastating.
Right.
So this whole thing is, as it morphs, is going to be devastating. I want to get to that. I'm going to get to COVID. Let me just do one more thing on the Prince thing. Also, because I've been listening to a lot of stuff, there's some fans people have been like, you've heard that thing where he said One of Us and Love That Will Be Done mix that a fan did or whoever does. I think what the estate should do, I know it's legal, whatever it's going to be. There should be some sort of competition. I don't know. I don't like competition, but some sort of thing where, you submit your mix, your fan mix or whatever have you, and like they put that out, and then maybe the fan get a cut, whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it becomes a charity thing. I don't know, because some of these fans, they're going to do much better than Sony or whoever or whatever. So I don't know how the state deals with that. It's just something that came to my head. It don't mean nothing, because I'm just a little old insignificant little speck on the face of this earth, and nobody gonna listen to me.
Well, I have a question for you now that you bring that up. As much as you love Thy Will Be Done, what do you think of his version of One of Us?
Okay. Oh, no. I love his version of One of Us. Just like I love his. I'm sorry. Just like I love his version of that one. I Can't Make You Love Me. But that's still. But no. See, the thing about Love That Will Be Done, right? If I listen to it, to me, it's every aspect that makes Prince, the sort of tempo of it, the message of it, the arrangements of it, the way he uses his voice, the way the bass is, everything about it. The Marie, there's other better mixes, but I'm talking about for the pure essentials of what I think of Prince. That's it. Just like Forever in My Life, to me, was like the perfect, like, Prince singing, that I guess the second tenor, whatever that voice that he uses, and Forever in My Life, to me, that's pure Prince. So, everybody has their own proclivities. There's much better Prince songs. Like, for instance, I will tell you, Chelsea Rogers, with Mavis on there and whatever. I love Chelsea Rogers. But if you're going to ask me, let me go far afield. I always meander. Let me put it this way. If I was to ask you, what is the best protest song ever, right? What is the best protest song ever? Now, some people might say, well, something from Marvin Gaye, right? Some people might
say, what's going on? The first thing that pops in my head.
That's right. Some people might say, Bob Marley, what do you call it? A redemption song, right? Am I right?
Fight the Power, Isley Brothers could be one. There's so many.
That's right. The best protest song ever. I will stand on his grave on this. Right? Hold on to your life. Hold on to, and it's so atypical, you can't even tell what it is Peter Tosh, Fools Die.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Peter Tosh, Fools Die. That is the best protest song ever. Beats everything you ever named. But nobody knows that. When I say nobody knows that, most people, they'll say Marvin, everything that you said, Fight the Power, whatever it is. And they'd be right. But for me, when I listen to the lyrics, I would listen to how the strings, everything, how he put it together, the message of the song, everything, the voice that he used. Peter Tosh, Fools Die. It can't beat it. But you have to remember my orientation, and there's some stuff in Africa that's really great because I did a thing called Pan-African Space Station, so I'm exposed to a lot of African music. That's really great. But unless you look, my musical thing is so unbelievable because of BAI and being music director for like a community, the biggest community radio station on the planet, having to deal with all these other musical forms and stuff like that. So my musical head, and then Pan African Space Station with all that African stuff, it's like my musical head, I can't even remember. I don't even know what's going on. So it's depending on what you're orientated towards. What can I tell you? So that's it.
Hop Day would agree with you.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah.
Hop Day would agree with you about Peter Tosh.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that particular song. In fact, when I was on Hop Day's show, I had him play that song. Song. And also, there's another, like, for instance, like, say, Marvin Gaye. You know what I feel about Marvin. There's many songs, but somehow to me, an incredible, I won't say social song, but familiar is Piece of Clay. Piece of Clay to me is hands down the most incredible Marvin Gaye song. As far as if you want to talk to a family or talk to a grouping and say, this is how you need to raise. If I was to take Sweet Honey in the Rock, you're on children, the Gibran, Kale, that philosopher, the Lebanese philosopher, right? If I was to take his thing on children, Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters. You know that song, right? And Piece of Clay. That's what I would, any parent, I give them those two songs. I said, you play this all, just play this. Make this a real, and listen to this. And just listen to that. But, that's my orientation. Everybody's, you are who you are. You are who you're exposed to, So,
right.
Nobody's greater than somebody else. Your greatness has nothing to do with your greatness. It has to do with what you've been exposed to on the planet, how you've walked this planet. If you're in a 2-block radius, and you only studying like what's that the book Jerzy Kosinski's Being There. They made some movie, the Peter Sellers movie, where he just grew up dealing with a garden and he becomes president of the United States because his world is just a garden. Seeing how a garden is, and you can make your whole life about a garden and then relate to everything in life through that garden. You see, so it's I don't know, I don't know how to explain this stuff. Anyway. We have to move on to one other thing. Because I kept you long enough just with Prince. Maybe I need to call you back again. I want to know about COVID because you're close enough to the medical field. What's happening with that in New York and stuff like that?
Well, I will say this. All right, we might have got a late start, and there are a lot of people that come through New York, but the common sense stuff that you see working that works throughout the world, from putting your mask on. Now you have different little bonfires of people want to be stupid, but I grew up in New York, and when I see an empty Fifth Avenue, an empty Times Square, the New Yorkers bonded together, wore their masks, distanced themselves, all right, did the right thing, and we were able to get on top of the curve. Now, most people are going to continue that because, look, I mean, it can be kind of scary, right? And they've been on top of that, and that's the way you have to do it before any vaccine or vaccines come in. As I said to you before, it's a bad thing that this thing is worldwide, but it's a good thing. Because if it has to be filtered through these idiots we have in this country, we'll never maximize our potential to stay on top of this thing. But you'll have different pockets of stupidity. You're going to get that, but overall, they were able to get on top of it. And like I said, the vaccine or vaccines plural will probably come from outside this country because there's too much bureaucracy on the top to just allow it to come through. Because, that's what I was asking you about Missouri, because, New York got on top of it, but now it's spreading like wildfire through Florida, through Georgia, Texas, Arizona, a lot of the hospitals building up, with the ICUs, all of that stuff catching the rest of it. And California is going through another renaissance like that. So
no, Missouri's cool. Missouri's cool.
Missouri's cool. Okay, good.
They're cool. Okay, listen, man. We'll do COVID in a couple of weeks, something like that. Let me call you again some other time. I always enjoy talking to you. You.
Well, keep sending those videos. I said, man, this man should have been on television more. No. Here's the thing. Let me say, I just started a new thing, right? Where I'm explaining. I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm explaining sections of my exercise in the morning. In fact, I just did a thing. What I do in the morning. And in fact, I got to go back. I did one yesterday about my prayer, and then this morning I did a thing with. Well, you'll see it. I'll post it soon, right away. Actually, I'm gonna post that up. Well, not right. I'm gonna post that up. But there is. But then I think tomorrow I got to go back and I'm gonna start from the beginning, like what I start, how I start my day. You know what I mean? But that's on YouTube, and of course, as you may or may know, you do know this.
well, my Instagram thing is just the 15 seconds of just trying to get people, just to, say, hey, we got to be prepared. We got to do something. But that's just I don't want to say motivational thing. It's just something I started to do. And so like I enjoy 15 seconds because I'm just on Instagram. I don't know nothing about Instagram. And what I do is I just do the 15-second format. I don't do nothing longer. I'm not on the Instagram TV, nothing like that. And I want to keep that as long as possible because this is what my thing about everything is about evolution. People talk about revolution. They want to do it in an instant, but like evolution, I will stay on this Instagram 15 seconds as much as I possibly can because I want to master, I will say master, I want to, master that form, you see? Mm-hmm. Then if I move to 60 seconds, it'll, something else will happen. But for now, Instagram and me, the 15 seconds is fine. I don't want to do it. If you want to know anything else about me, you have to go to my YouTube channel and then go to certain playlists. If you, I don't want to say it this way. Let me say it this way because that's what I say. If you're dumb enough to be listening to me rant just on my regular stuff, but I'm just ranting because I'm scattered all over the place. Well, that's on you. If you what you need to do on my YouTube channel, I tell people all the time, you have to check out the interviews. Like this thing will be on the interview playlist. The interviews are amazing to me. You know what I mean? Because what people don't understand, one of the things, one of my skills, if you want to put that, I've been doing it for years, is interviewing. That's what I do. I'm an interviewer. I have to say my friend, I'm an archivist. I say archivist, but I'm an archivist and an interviewer. That's my basis. That's what I do. So anyway, so I'm supposed to be good at it. So
you're like an archivist, like a photographer, a photographer.
Yeah,
that was totally. That was like I just got caught in the pronunciation. That's not the way you pronounce it, but it became a moment.
Hey, my thing is that black men, black people. It's not. Who said this? Richard Pryor once said, "Hey, Michael Spinks." He said, "Well, he don't talk right." He said, "Well, it ain't his language." It's
good point.
But it's
good point. They understand the language they're on. That's right. Good point. Communication is more important than language, right?
There you go. And that's why that's the other thing about being face to face, because communication is not just language. It's not just it's not just even talking to a device. You got to be in the presence. You got to feel. You got to be in the presence. I've literally traveled the world with no language skills at all. But let me tell you, I can communicate.
Right.
People will let me through. My famous tale is when I was in Brazil. I have to end it here. When I was in Brazil, right? I was in a place called Cachoeira. Now, I speak no Portuguese. They don't. This is whatever. They speak no English. And I was there. I can't tell you how I showed up, but I showed up. And actually, they had a little concert when I showed up. And I was there by the stage. And I was just dancing on the side of the stage, because I'm a dancer. When I say dance, what I mean? It moves me, And so I was just myself. And then for the whole 3 days out there, every time I walk past, people say, "Oh, bailado man." Basically, they say, "That's the dancing guy. That's the dancing guy," because the whole village, the whole place knew me, right? But anyway, I went to this guy's house. Somehow, I forgot how it happened. And he went, again, he can't speak. I couldn't speak, whatever. They wanted me in there, right? And he kicked his son out of the room. Said, "This is your," basically saying, "This is your room. You can stay." So I spent the 3 days, not no hotel number, but with this family. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to say is if you move the planet with humanness, with a universality in your heart, then other people who have humanness and universality in their heart will bring you in. You know what I mean? Right. And they will, and that's what it's about. And people don't understand this whole, I don't know what. Look, hey, let me just end it there. You be well. You can stay safe and all that stuff. And
same to you, my brother. And you know how to get in contact with me. And you're like the only the second person in history that actually came through as a voice on my watch. That's history right there, bro. Like, what the hell? Anthony got 2 numbers and a watch. He has watch access.
Who's watching the watches?
It was just like, what the hell? It's a different wavelength happening there. Okay.
All right, man. I'll check you, man.
All right, man.
Okay.
I'll be in touch.
All right. Later.